lot of good things. The legendary crafting is good. I mean, it's obviously it would be broken to get your own specific legendary perks you want, but it's nice to be able to just start pursuing legendary rolls of specific items, especially items that I can't just normally craft legendary versions of, because the geniuses at Bethesda thought that it'd be better to just get lucky in your loot pool for a set of Brotherhood recon armor. But anyway, I was a little worried about the aristocrat legendary perk where you need 29,000 or more caps to do an extra 50% damage. And I was like, that's going to be hard for me to maintain because I clean out the 1400 from the vendors daily. But then find out that the caps have been increased, max caps have increased to 40,000. That's very nice. The gold bullion max increased to 1,000. All these great things. 400 gold bullion a day for treasure notes. 300 script per day. I mean, it's something we've been asking for a while. All generally good things. A new shelter that's not a vault that actually does look pretty cool when you view the damn thing. Um, and no, it looks good. I gotta look up a video of it to see how good it actually is, but looks like there's a spacious area. There's some tunnels. I mean, honest, like this would be perfect for my raider character who actually lives at the canyon down from Monogma, the Raider Canyon, and this looks like it would be underneath there, the railroad canyon. But Bethesda has to be Bethesda, and they have to pull a greedy move once in a while, and that's where we go to this crap here. Oh. Now, camp slots. I didn't know that was going to be a thing. When they first announced it, that was news to me. I don't pay too much attention to the community because I'm not a social media person, but I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's great. I can, make a really cool camp that I want to keep and still have the freedom to try out something different without immediately destroying that camp. That's great. Also, the way the camp switching works, if someone happens to have my spot when I load into a world, if that person leaves that world, I can just switch back on my camp. Unlike having to just leave and come back if I happen to have a friend in that world. It's a lot more convenient. Special loadouts, I thought, great, awesome. Not only can I customize my special points willy-nilly, but I can also, not have to worry about having a high enough intelligence for crafting. I could say, nope, low intelligence, all go to different, agility or strength combat stuff, and then have a separate loadout with max charisma, max intelligence and shit for crafting. And that's generally how I use most of my characters. Now, I probably want to maybe like one more special loadout specifically for nuclear winter perks while that's still around. Try to get as high as I can in that if I bother. But it's so the special loadout to me is not as big of a deal, and the fact that you can just switch things out and respec the two that you have kind of null and voids needing that many special loadouts. However, the camp slots, that's a bigger deal. When they showed off the dev diary for the camp slots, they're like, man, you can have a lot, like fucking 50 of them. And I'm like, cool. I don't think you're going to have that many when it launches, but, it was only one. I was like, all right, cool. I hope, that this is a stable thing for them and they can eventually give us more camp slots down the line. Like to give us more storage space. That's where my brain went. My brain went to like the stash box and like they gradually gave us more and more as they were able to make the game more stable. And I thought, okay, they're going to give us one more camp slot here and there. No, they're just going to charge for it. 1,000 atoms each, $10 for a camp slot and it's like, now, anyone not in the know, if you don't actively play the game, you can only have one active camp out at a time. The slots are basically like saved camps. So but you can only have one at a time. So it's not like, oh, you're paying for, more clutter on the world. It's going to cause more instability. So they have to limit it through both price and cap, which again, that would be dumb. Why would they even, have that option if they want to limit it further by putting a paywall? But, and again, I'm just running things in my brain through what people might say to defend this. Now, when you go to the shelters, those are more expensive. I've been seeing some people saying like, I would have rather had a free camp slot for my Fallout First subscription rather than that free medium lobby shelter that I never use. And while I think that might be a fair thing to just immediately say, and people are saying we need more value added to Fallout First, you got to increase the value every now and then. Again, I disagree because I don't think they should have charged for it at all. The shelters, that's work. And I'm not saying the camp slots having that in the game isn't work. But the shelters, there's an art department there. They are modeling, they're whatever they're doing. They are people who are actively making these spaces for people to purchase to use in their camps. Their instanced areas of living. That I can understand charging more for it, especially since that's kind of something that is, in the eye of the beholder. Do you want this specific vault rooms? Do you want this mine shaft? It really depends on how you feel like. You can easily skip it if it's not something you're interested in. I think the majority of players would be interested in more camp slots now that this is a thing. And how easy it is just have another one. We don't have to wait for Bethesda to craft a new shelter. No, it's just, okay, you can have this many slots. Here you have another one. Oh, we need some more money. Oh, is it possible to have 5 more slots? Okay, they can have 10 slots now. Pay us more atoms for that. That's what this is going to be. It's going to keep increasing, and it's going to be an easy way for them to just rake in more money without having to do much work other than just making sure it's stable. And the worst part of that is this is going to be probably has a major blow to the builders of this game, the people who are really good at creating some interesting shit. And most of the time they have to tear it down or have to have another character to make something new or whatnot. So they want to have more, things that they create that are worth, like essentially keepers, worth, going back to. They have to keep on buying more camp slots. But the thing is, these people are probably buying most of the cosmetics in the game, so that's where their atoms are going. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of builders that aren't, loaded and want to buy atoms left and right. So they're probably trying to earn as much as possible. Now, again, once you grind out most of the lifetime challenges, the current seasons only give you like 2,000 a season. 2,000 essentially every 2.5 months, 2.5 to 3 months, depending on how long the season runs. And they want 1,000 per camp slot. That's a lot, if you ask me. That is way overvalued. And there's no recourse other than you just bite the bullet and buy another camp slot because, you might want that one item that just came in, but that item might come back. You have this location. You just really wanted the camp slot. The thing is, you can't just create something amazing in 76, destroy it or like blueprint it, and then put it out again as like the pre-launch trailers would have you believe. Everyone knows now that most blueprints have a budget limit that's really, really small. So you can't really save your furnishings. That takes up way too much budget. You can't even finish a giant build of like foundation and stuff and walls. Even a framework takes up way too much budget. You could do like maybe one floor and a second floor, multiple blueprints that hopefully work together. And the thing is, a lot of blueprints just don't work. Like they won't want to place down. Or they do, and then they eventually don't. Like I had that happen with the CD shelter. I furnished it up. It was called Beckett's New Prison because I put his bar in the CD shed. It was really nice. And I could easily remove it and replace it. The blueprint worked until one day it didn't. In fact, quite a lot of my blueprints just stopped working and the foundation would just like sink into the ground. It would like snap underneath the ground as I'm trying to get that, that light blue that the color is now when you can place something down. I'm trying to, but it won't work because the game just stopped functioning on the blueprints. Like fucking trying to load up an old world in Minecraft, several major title updates later. It just doesn't work. And so you can't just, this specific thing that works for this camp. Oh, okay, I'll just blueprint parts of it, package it up, and I'll come back to it later. It doesn't work that way. You have to do everything, almost everything from scratch. Blueprints only work for very contained things. So that's why camp slots are such a godsend when they came up, when they launched it. Even for people, lazy ass people like me who haven't really utilized most of my free second camp slots. I mean, I've had some, but I use them. But like, point being is that the people that just want to go crazy building, they're fucked. Unless they just show, again, it's like, give me more fucking money. That's what Beth is saying, and it's gross. To me, this is the grossest thing they've done since locking, the fucking scrap box behind a monthly paywall. And while I have, since given into it every now and then, and I decide, okay, I'll get first for a month. This to me is a whole new level of like, I just, my principle is like, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give in. And sadly, that's not many people are going to be as reserved. Pretty sure this is going to work out for them. And, it's just, we're just going to see more of this. Like, I mean, I don't, they've gotten better with the way they priced a lot of these things. And I'm more forgiving of that. This looks pretty cool, honestly. It'd be cool if this thing rotates too, but I doubt it does. I have to look up a video of it. This stuff is gay. I don't care for that, but stuff like this, that's cool. 500. I'm down with that because it's something that one of the employees built. They worked on. They modeled. It's an asset. Not to mention, okay, yeah, the Fallout First items is for this month is some flares that don't even look good on most of the backpacks. They just kind of fucking stuck them on like stickers rather than deciding, hey, this might look good if it dangles on this part of, a backpack. Like it's hooked on, like an actual keychain, not just slapped on the back of a tank or something. Or floating off that free Brotherhood of Steel tin backpack for the storm challenges. God. Yeah, there's not much more to say. I'm just disappointed. Really disappointed in you, Beth. You were doing so well. I mean, my only issues with 76 at this point was some base design stuff, not being able to place down my prefab miscellaneous structures without foundation on top of regular foundation, so I could have some great, nice, asymmetrical placements. Not everything always being in a square grid. I want to be able to have tents all the different tents that I own here. Right? Or is it tents? I want to be able to have these things not have to be pre-selected when choosing which one I want, to place down. I want it to be able to I press up, I press triangle, and then while the tent is able to be placed down, I tap left or right to choose which different tent I want, like going through variants in, the actual camp building mode. Very simple. I think you guys could do it, but you have to fucking switch through this thing every time you want to change a different tent style, and I do that when I want to, if I'm on my Raider character or my not Raider character. Now, if I want to fucking, well, I guess, you guys finally added a stash box, but there's still no instrument. So other than that, really it's just the frame drops that happen that really get to me. And that's only on some of my characters, and I just have to, anti-horde to make it better. That's pretty much it. I've been, feeling better about the game, and then you just had to pull this shit.